chopping some rocks.
What's up, prospectors? Dig Daddy here, bringing you another episode of Backyard Prospecting in the house. Today, we're getting our rocks off, or rather, we're getting our rocks on, and we're going to take those cabs that we made in the last video, polished up, and we're going to set those on some fittings today. So I'm going to show you how we do it. We're going to take you over to my workbench over here, and I'll show you my tools, and we'll glue some rocks. So don't go anywhere. Alright, now before we get started gluing anything, I want to go over with you a couple of types of glue that you can use that I found. So what we got here is we got your general 2-part epoxy, sets in 5 minutes, it's done curing in a day, it stinks a little bit and it can get messy. But you can use this because it's a very strong adhesive, it's good for gluing stone and metal. And those are the two things that we're going to be gluing. So this is definitely a good contender, especially if you want a lot of time to work with it and get it set in there, and then you're okay having it being held there while it dries and cures. So you could use epoxy. A lot of people I found like to use E6000. It's clear, transparent, and it's got a flexibleness to it, so it's like a rubberized epoxy. And I guess that helps to keep it from, if it stretches or takes any damage from just popping out from shattering the epoxy. So a lot of people like to use the E6000. This tube that I have here is kind of old, so I don't know if I really trust it. Even so, these can be very messy, so I'm going to skip both of these today. Because the fixtures that we're going to be using, actually I might use the E6000 on one of the fixtures, but 3 of the fixtures that we're using today are just a little trim edge. So I don't have a lot of space to get a lot of material in there, but I need something that's going to be strong, and that's where this stuff comes in. It's just your super glue, cyanoacrylate, Gorilla brand. It's the thin stuff so that it can really get in there and seal those edges up. You don't want to use the thick stuff because it may not get a good spread along the edge of the gem, and you want to get a good spread in there. And it's thin, so it's not going to make a huge mess everywhere as long as you're careful. It'll kind of soak itself into the places where it needs to go as long as you're not overly pouring it in. They do make thinner cyanoacrylate. That's probably your best bet. I didn't want to wait till Friday to make this video, so we're going to go with Gorilla Glue today. Probably just do... screw it, we're going to do all 3 of them. I may go ahead and use the E6000 on the dish, which is this guy, because I'm not too worried about making a mess and spilling all over the place, where these ones I don't have space to screw up. So we'll probably go like that, and that way you can see using this and this. And alright, let's get started. Alright, now before we get started, a couple other things I want to point out. You want to have a surface to work on that you don't mind spilling stuff on, because you're probably going to spill some stuff. I suggest having a toothpick, just in case you need to clean up any edges real quick, scuff them up, or if you have a little bit of overflow, you can scrape it away before it dries. If there's anything in the edges of the bezels, you can scrape it out before you start gluing. So it's good to have a little something to clean up with. A paper towel, and you definitely want to make sure you're in a well ventilated area, especially if you're using this stuff. Apparently, this stuff it's like cancer in a can, so you definitely want to be careful with that. Keep the ventilation going. Let it cure outside or in the garage or something. Um, they're probably going to send me a letter. Don't call our shit cancer in a can. But what I'm saying is there is some carcinogenic vaporous stuff in here, so you got to be really careful with it. That's why you want to keep it sealed, unless you're using it. So that's why a lot of people just use super glue. Safer. All right. So let's start with this one. Now, if we had really thin super glue, we'd probably just take the needle and dropper it in, but we don't. We have this stuff. So give yourself a quick bead around the edge. Make sure you cover the whole area, and then hurry up because this shit cures quick, dries quick, and hold it down so you get it nice and firm. Good firm seating so it doesn't go anywhere. If you had cyanoacrylic activator, you could speed this process up, but this only takes like a minute. It's really important to make sure the backs of your cabs are nice and flat if you're using these, because you want to make sure that all the edges all the way around the back are touching, and so that when you push it down there's not one corner that's wanting to pop up, because that'll ruin it real fast. Let's go ahead and do this one. Again, just a light bead. Don't want to overdo it. Try to have a steady hand. Don't make a big ass mess like I'm doing. I have to go back with the razor later and clean it up. And then just hold it down so it gets a good seal. Now those ones are easy because you already know which way it's going to go, but on these circular ones, you want to have a good idea where you want your cab to sit. It's going to be right about there. Shit. Okay, line it up and pop it in. All the way in, nice and flat. Make sure it gets good seal. Push down. this guy. Warning. Vapor harmful. Possible cancer agent. Harmful if inhaled. You know what? I don't think I want to use this anyways. So instead, I'm just gonna use this guy. Now, I'm gonna do something here. I'm not 100% sure why I do it, but I saw somebody else doing it in one of their videos, and it seemed sound, and I should have probably listened for an explanation. But they put a little piece of board in there. And so that glues to that, and that glues to that. There's still plenty of super glue in here, though, so I mean, it's super glue. How much of this shit do you need, right? And I actually put, I think, way too much, but we're in it to win it. And I certainly did put way too much because it's oozing out. But what that means is, it's on the clasp. What that means is I'm going to have to clean this up and get this clasp off here before it glues itself to it. So let's keep it moving. Doesn't have time to set. There. Get this off here before it glues to that. Alright, so this is where paper towel comes in handy. So we need to fix our mess. And I can always repolish the stone once we're good. That one's pretty much in there anyways, because those are nice deep bezels. But that's it. That's pretty much it. So with the larger one here, some leather and make a necklace for it, package it up, get it ready to sell. These ones I got some thinner leather, or I may sell those ones with the silver chains that I have. In fact, I think that's probably what I am going to do. But we'll get those packaged up and post it up on the website, backyardprospecting.com. Check them out in the prospector shop. We got 2 of these, 1 of these, and 1 of these, all one of a kind. And as we work up those other cabs, we'll have a few more coming. I'm having a good time doing this, so I think occasionally when I get a chance to, I'm going to keep on doing it. Making more of these things, and you'll see more pop up on the website. Otherwise, this has been Choppin' Rocks with Dig Daddy. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. So after I got done filming, I thought, man, I really didn't give you guys a good view of these. So there's this guy here. It's an inch, what, like 1/4 inch. 20 millimeter. No, it's not an inch. It's 20 millimeter on sterling silver fixture. Polished off that glue. And then this guy here.